Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am sorry I am late. Actually, no, I'm not sorry I am late. It's been a very exciting morning. As you probably noticed from my interaction in the group today, I'm in quite a giddy mood. Oh yeah, I'm in a giddy place. Abracadabra. There's so much good stuff here. There is so much stuff I want to talk to you about today. Abracadabra, it's an amazing word, isn't it? And it's one of those words that we... morning, Anita. We've got our giddy on this morning, haven't we? Oh, we've got our giddy on. So, we'll just give it a moment to see whether anybody else is going to join us. And also, whilst I gather myself, I think I may have manifested myself my next house. Wasn't even looking for another house. It's been in the ether for a while. We have been muttering in corners together. Actually, no, we haven't been muttering in corners together. We've been very deliberately stating what it is that we would like for our next house, what it needs. And Lil's birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I needed to steady myself, I needed to settle myself and get out in the sunshine. So I took myself up the hill and I took one of her party invitations around to friends who live up the hill, and the house next door to their house was for sale. So wasting no time, like the meerkat I am, we arranged a viewing. We shall see, but fingers crossed. It has all of the potentials that we require, so we shall see. Abracadabra, you see? Abracadabra. So, I did a little bit of research into the word abracadabra. For me, it's very much one of those words from childhood, like the great superendo, piff, paff, poof. It comes from a kind of a magical, ta-da kind of a background, and we all know that I do love a little bit of ta-da. Anyone who's seen me in action in a treatment room will know that quite often I do come back into a room and go, ta-da! And yeah, that could be incredibly egocentric, but it does just make me laugh, and I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it does. So abracadabra, it's a thousands of year old word, and when it was first explained to me, the explanation I was given was the spoken word becomes truth. Don't you just love that? The spoken word becomes truth. Because whilst thoughts are important, a thought is only a thing in your head. And we know that when we want to manifest, there has to be an alignment between the conscious, the thought, the subconscious, the belief, and the action, the actual implementation of the think. So thoughts are great, but the spoken word is about action. It's a bit like the power of the cursive. It's the power of writing things down. Allegedly, the power of typing doesn't do the same thing because it doesn't connect your brain in the same way to your hand. There's something about it missing a step. I don't know. I'm sure that as we become more evolved to modern life, we will become able to put that typing and brain thing together. But the cursive and the spoken are very powerful ways of bringing into alignment and bringing towards you the things that you wish. And quite often when you say something out loud, it gives you the, it's almost like you then produce it as an object, so you can circle around it and you can kind of feel whether that statement is your truth, whether that's really what you mean. Speaking something kind of gives you the opportunity, if you stay aware, to sniff out its bullshit or actually kind of feel into the goodness of it. So as I put in the email, and I think I put it in one of the posts before, we're going to look at the word abracadabra from two different origins. So there is the Chaldean origin and there is the Aramaic origin. Both are amazing, and both are really kind of valid, and I think both of them are really kind of like good juicy feel points. The word abracadabra as well, and both the Chaldean and the Aramaic have an influence on the Hebrew use of the word as well. And they break, I think abracadabra is broken into 3 Hebrew words. So I can't quite remember if it's the Hebrew becomes the Chaldean and the Aramaic, or whether the Chaldean and the Arab. It must be that way. For there to be 2 kind of slightly different standpoints, it must have come from one original place. So it must have come from the Hebrew first, and then you have the Aramaic and the Chaldean. So the Chaldean way of viewing abracadabra is they used to write it on amulets. It's a powerful word, isn't it? It's kind of like a spell, an incantation. It has a certain kind of magic to it. So the Chaldeans used to write it on amulets which were worn, and the amulet was in the shape of a kind of a triangle or a funnel, and they used to write abracadabra in kind of a reducing form down through this triangle. And it's supposed to be used for sick people, and the idea was that the word abracadabra was let the thing be destroyed. So by wearing it as an amulet, what you were doing is that you were bringing in the goodness to cast out the thing that was trying to get you dead. Jeez, that doesn't make sense. But it was the thing that was trying to kill you, you were casting out. So it was the thing that was trying to destroy you, you would cast away. Abracadabra. And then the Aramaic side of it is that abracadabra was, now I think I said, I had it written down properly somewhere. The spoken word becomes truth, but actually there is, let me see. I got so excited. I've written so much stuff. I will create as I speak. Man, that's good, isn't it? That's like, all the goodness of manifestation. I will create as I speak. Yes. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Aramaic way of viewing abracadabra. Actually, we're going to talk quite a lot about that in a minute. So let's go back to the thing that destroys us. So what destroys us? I would say pretty much it is our fear, isn't it? It's the fears we have which hold us back. It's the fears which stop us exploring more. It's the fear, natural fear, isn't it? It's like it's that innate part of us. It's the thing that kicks in the adrenal sense, the adrenal response in our body. It's that idea of something is out to eat us, or to kill us, or to harm us, or to maim us. And that we have that very instinctual response, that where there is fear, there is a reaction to either run from it, hide from it, fight it, or just freeze. And so I think that when we talk about fear in an instinctual way, we're probably getting slightly removed from how we feel about fear in the modern sense. Fear served us really, really well when we were wild animals. Fear served us really well when our life was more genuinely in peril. But now, the things that we fear, how often is it that the things that we fear are actually going to cause us serious harm? And how often is it that the things that we fear are just illusions that we have created? There is a wonderful book called A Course of Miracles. They talk about fear as being the sword of the ego, and its very job is to protect you. It's to keep your thoughts and your actions safe and small. It's to stop you from upsetting the status quo, because when you act differently from your peers, when you become an outlier, when you hold your hand up and say, this is what I feel, you are becoming different. And there is a big part of our ego which wishes us to be the same. It wishes us to be homogenous. It's that way in which we garner approval from others, isn't it? It's the sameness. It's like we use our culture as a mirror, and so we know where our boundaries are, because when we look out into what our peers are doing, when we look out into what our friends and our family are doing, we kind of give ourselves a framework for what the status quo is, and therefore anything which steps out of that comfort zone then becomes quite scary for us. Although, as we've spoken about in previous weeks, it's actually outside of the comfort zone which is where the good stuff happens, where manifestation happens, where change becomes really ripe. So what I want to do now, I'm going to do this, and don't just go with it. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. Again, we're coming out of our comfort zone. I am going to read to you some statements, and when I read to you these statements, what I would like for you to do is to either sit up, stand up, or sit down. So these are going to be statements around limiting beliefs. The way that I want you to respond is that if you feel as though that belief is relevant to you in the way that you work either now or have done previously, if you feel that those statements hold that little bit of for you, I would like you to either stand up or sit down. When we get to a statement which doesn't hold any fear for you, which doesn't make you feel a little collywobble on the inside, then you can stay where you are. So if you're stood up, stay stood. If you're sat down, stay sat down. It's always quite an interesting one. I've done this a few times, and actually I was running through the questions this morning and I was a bit like, oh man, oh no, oh no. And again, it's as we said in the first week, in the first week, you don't know where you are unless you actually look deeply into it. You can't move forwards if you're only looking backwards. So we're going to have a little run through fears, self-sabotaging beliefs, limiting beliefs, whatever you want to call them. And what I want you to think about is how these statements apply to you in your life, in your business. They may also be some statements which apply to your relationships. So if you feel that it is either true or fearful within you, I'd like you to either stand up or sit down. And if it doesn't have a response for you, then I'd like you just to stay put. Okay, here we go. So relating to your business and your life, stand up or sit down. They won't pay for this. I don't know enough. I'm not enough. They'll find out I'm a fraud. I don't have the right personality to succeed. I'm a failure. I lack focus. I can't do this. I'm not worth it. I can't have it all. My expertise is common sense. They won't pay for this. Who would want what I offer? I have nothing to offer. I can't compete. I have to be fake for them to like me. I'm not good at business. I really don't think I need as much money. I really don't need as much money as I think I do. I'm not good at what I do. Now is not the time. I can't handle full practice. I'll get overwhelmed if I attract clients. People won't hire me in the way that the economy is right now. How are we doing? You up and down, up and down? Good. Keep going. I'm not a good speaker. I don't have what it takes. Who am I to do this? My target audience is too small. There are too many competitors. My target audience has no money. I'm too disorganised. I don't have all the answers. I'm not motivated enough. I shouldn't charge for this. If I promote myself, I'll feel like a used salesman. I won't be able to handle it. I won't have any fun. I'll have to do a half-hearted job. People don't want what I provide. People won't pay my full fee. I've got to discount to get clients. I will spread myself too thin. I'm not as good as she is. I can't sell myself. I'll never make good money at this business. They'll think I'm greedy and inauthentic. How are we doing? You need a sip of water yet? Okay, come on, let's keep going. This won't work for my business. The industry is too unstable. This is hard work. I won't be able to have a life. It will all be taken away from me when I get it. I don't have the time to promote my business. I don't have the money to market myself. I might have to travel a lot. I never win. Why even bother? I need to learn more. It's not right, you know, for a woman to promote herself. A man is supposed to take care of me. I'll have to pay lots of taxes. I don't like to sell. I can't afford to get help. I'm not a morning person. They'll laugh at me. I'm already too scattered. I'll have to work hard to succeed. People won't like me if I'm successful or powerful. Who do I think I am anyway? I can't possibly charge that much. My spouse will leave me if I'm successful. Can't be easy. Must be hard. Okay. So how did that feel? How many times did you find yourself getting up, sitting down, getting up, sitting down, getting up? You don't have to tell me, by the way. Just let those cogs feel through what you've just been doing. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard when you have thoughts like that going on in your head. But here's the thing. They're just thoughts. And even though they feel as though they've got a lot of power over you, they're just thoughts. And thoughts are changeable. Thoughts can be just got rid of. If you choose to make your life different, that's amazingly powerful. That's where the magic really is. You could be held down by limiting beliefs that you were given. I mean, where did these limiting beliefs come from? Who teaches us these things? We get them from our parents, we get them from our friends, we get them from our relationships, our boyfriends, our lovers, our husbands, our wives, our girlfriends. We get them from the people that we trust, who have got them from the people that they trust, who have got them from the television, who've got them from culture. It's like a game of Chinese whispers, isn't it? It's like each one of us has our own interpretation of the experiences that we went through in various times of our life where we felt vulnerable or we felt misunderstood. And they put filters on what we actually think. And so we end up with all these beliefs which aren't really our beliefs. And really, all of those self-limiting beliefs are illusions. Now, you could go as far to say that in a metaphysical world, everything is an illusion, everything is a hologram. And fuck me, if that's so, then we can change all of it. I really like the way that Danielle Laporte approaches fear. Now, she, as we spoke last week, like week 3, she's very much about the feeling of things. And it really kind of clicked with me when I was listening to her one day, and she was talking about how fear is just another emotion. And this is what I meant before when I was saying about how we have that instinctual response to fear, which is deep brain, it's limbic, it's subconscious. And yes, we do. But actually, a lot of these fears that come from our modernity are just emotional, irrational beliefs that we can change. And isn't that kind of cool? If we think of fear as just an emotion, then we can put it up there on a par with happiness, enthusiasm, pragmatism. And then we can start to like regain our power from fear. Because then, in the same way that we would say, okay, let's go with an example. Say there was a job that we would really like to apply for, or, you know, I mean, we're all self-employed, but say there was a project that we really wanted to pitch for, and fear would go, well, who the hell am I to do that? You know, there's people who, they know more than I do, and they are more organised than I am, and I don't know how to fill out a pitch form, and I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that, and really I'm not good enough because I'll never be able to show up on time, and there's people who know far more than I do, and I am not the person for this job. But then the pragmatic side of you would go, well, you know, you've been doing this for 5 years, you've been doing this for 10 years, you know your shit, you have clients who come back to you again and again and again. What is it that makes you feel, really, that you're not able to do this? Surely you've got as good a chance as any. Why not give it a shot? And enthusiasm would go, oh my God, that sounds so cool. Oh my God, imagine I could do this and I could do that and I could talk about this and I could talk about that. These are all emotions. And we could give equal standing to these, so why do we constantly give more standing to fear? Why don't we say, okay, fear, we appreciate the fact that you are trying to protect us. We appreciate the fact that you are trying to act in our best interest. But really, we kind of like the way that enthusiasm is going right now. So whilst we take on board everything you say, and we are very grateful from the fact that you're trying to like keep us happy and small and safe, we're going to go and do the things anyway. Because fear is only powerful when we allow it to affect our behaviour. Fear is only powerful when we allow it to affect our behaviour. When we treat it as another emotion in the spectrum of emotions, it becomes a useful tool. And I just think that's so cool. I think that's like abracadabra, isn't it? You know, it's the driving out of the thing that destroys us. It's the taking away of the fear. There's so many metaphysical things that I want to share with you. And I really love this concept that there is only the now. In a vibrational metaphysical world, there is only this moment. That the future is a prediction. It's not happened yet. How can we possibly understand what there is in the future? And the past, it's just a relic, it's a memory. And we continue to put stock, we continue to put in vibration in something which doesn't exist because it's in the future, and it doesn't exist because it's in the past. So really all we have is this moment. And in this moment, as we stand, we can always ask ourselves the question, how does this moment feel? If in this moment there can be no fear, then in this moment, all is well. And that's a really useful thing to hold on to. When you find yourself awake at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, going, fuck, how am I going to pay those bills? And fuck, what am I going to do about the kids? And fuck, Trump's a real fucking nutter. And fuck, what if one of them, Trump or North Korea, presses the red button? We're fucked. Those are predictions of the future. In this moment, how does it feel? And generally, in this moment, all is well. And when you have those moments where shit's going down and the mist is swirling and you don't know where you stand, the thing to ask yourself is, in this moment, is all well? And generally the answer is yes. In this moment, all is well. And that's really quite an anchoring place to be in. This moment. Only this moment. And if we can take our fear out of the future, and if we can take our fear out of the past, and we just stay mindful in this moment, then we have the opportunity to change the way we feel. We have that opportunity to reassess fear as just an emotion. And remember, we talked last week about the 22 emotions, so that we have fear at the bottom, fear and despair at the bottom of the 22 emotions, and then we go tick, 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 up that left side chart, and then hop over into, was it, it's kind of contentment, isn't it, which is kind of at the bottom of the right hand chart, and then we can tick, 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 and we find ourselves eventually up in faith. And this is kind of where we end up in the Aramaic of the Abracadabra, where the spoken word becomes truth. Now, a little while ago, George and I were having a chat with another friend of ours, and we were talking about, I think it was a process called the heart circle. Pretty sure it was called the heart circle. And then at some point within the heart circle, you say, you state what it is that you would like to invite into your life. And the friend said that the wording that they used was, I want. And I was kind of like, really? I want? And she said, yeah, you know, I want. It's a firm statement. Now, I truly believe, and I think, which book is it? I think it's A Happy Pocket Full of Money. I am definitely going to be putting together a resource list for this group because there's so many cool books out there. There's an amazing book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. I think it was on Helen's book stack as well when we did our bedside book photos. In A Happy Pocket Full of Money, they talk about how a want is a wish that is never fulfilled. Now, the subconscious mind, so that's where we get our kind of woo-woo manifesting juice from. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a positive and a negative. It only sees things in positives, but it doesn't like wants. So you have to change, you have to watch the wording that you use to really bring what you'd like into. So if you say, I don't want to be fat anymore, your brain just hears, I want to be fat. Want, want, want. Which means I don't want to lose weight. Yeah, that's right. Or I don't want to be in debt. And your brain hears, I want debt. And it's never going to fulfill, you see, the semantics of it. It goes, because I'm like, no, it's definitely like, a want is a wish that is never fulfilled. Which is why we teach our children to say, I would like. That's why we teach our children manners, isn't it? Please may I have. And to be honest, I think I probably grew up in a very pedantry high family, so that if I said, please could you pass me, they would say, well, I could, but would I? And I want was definitely had to be slapped down into I would like. But yes, so a want is a wish that is never fulfilled. And the subconscious doesn't understand the difference between positives and negatives. It just gives you the words that you say. So you need to watch your words, because your words create your reality, which is back to the Aramaic. I create that which I speak. If you go back into week, which was it? Week 3. Yeah, last week we were talking about feelings. So you want to go back into the feel of it, which connects you back into your limbic brain. So that's deeper, deeper place where all the good, happy, warm, snuggly feelings come from. And if we go back into ideals, which was in week 2, week 1, this is all going to be the framework for how you put together your goal cards, your gold cards. And we're going to talk about those in a bit. So we have a constant, I don't want to use the word battle, but it's not a battle. Oh, this is where I was going. Okay, so we have the constant ability to change our reality based on the words that we use. So we were talking about how I want was the way of trying to bring things into you from the heart circle. And I said, well, surely it should be I would now like, or I would like now. And the reason for using those words was, one, because it's positive, I would like, and it's clear. And I use the word now because if there is no past and there is no future and there is only in this moment, then the universe becomes very clear about understanding when you wish these things to happen. So it's that I would like now. And the friend that I was talking to was like, yeah, but that sounds really brattish. I would like now. And I took those thoughts away and I was like, yeah, you know, she's kind of got a point. And then I was kind of thinking about it, and it took me a long time. It actually took me a couple of months to work it out. And I was like, well, of course there is always another choice. There is always another choice of words. And it is exactly that. I choose. And I think that I choose is a really, really, really brilliant way of getting your brain to sneak past its traditional limiting beliefs. Because we generally think about when we want change, we go, I want, I want, I want. And the universe is going, it's never going to happen when you ask like that. But I choose. We don't generally say I choose, which almost makes it an incantation within itself. I choose. It's got that kind of, yes, bring it to me. I choose. I choose to do this. It's like giving your consent to be part of the process. I choose. And I really love that idea of consenting with the universe, that you're acting in harmony together to affect change. I choose is, it's lyrical as well, isn't it? It's got that, yeah, I'm standing in my power. I choose to do this. I choose to change. And it makes you feel very certain as well, that it's like, So the way that you pick your words is a really good way of like, what's it called? Neuroplasticity. There we go. My brain was searching around as I was talking about I choose, and it was like, because there's a reason why you choose it. It's the neuroplasticity. So every day your brain creates 10,000 new neurons. 10,000 new neurons. Our ability to change the way we think, therefore, happens on a daily basis. And part of it is to do with repetition, and part of it is to do with actually feeling like your choices are your choices. You know, that you're not making your decisions in life based on anybody else's best interest. You're making your decisions in life based on what it is that you would really, really love for yourself. Your choice. Yeah? So every day your brain is creating new neurons, which means every day as you reinforce what you're choosing, as you start to bring yourself into that higher vibration, where you start to move yourself out of fear and into faith, into hope, you're cutting a new swathe in the grass. Now, we see it all the time, don't we? Like when you're wandering around and you'll see a grass verge and you'll see a pavement and then across the grass verge you will see like a muddy track, and that muddy track is caused because there is a better route to take than constantly following the pavement. If you want to get across the road there and there's a 50-metre stretch of grass verge, you're just going to go across the grass verge. And if enough people go across the grass verge, then you're going to get a muddy track. And that's exactly what it is with your brain. It's neuroplasticity. If you want to create a new thought, you create the repetition of the thought. You make the choice to have the thought more often. There are statistics to say that if you can bring your attention to the thing that you wish to manifest, the things that you wish to change in your life, the things that you choose, if you bring your attention to those things for blocks of 16 seconds or more, then you're creating even swifter neural pathways, which is one of the reasons why I get you to do journaling, because the journaling gets you into a place where you start to feel and think about what it is that you would really like. It gets you to think about the negative things that you may have experienced, but from a more positive angle. It's asking you what the lessons are. How do they make you stronger? What is it about that which has made the person that you are now? It's about celebrating. Shit days are shit days, but sometimes there's something you can learn from a shit day, and sometimes it's just a shit day. But if there's something to learn, surely if we can use the neuroplasticity of that, it will help us move forwards and towards the things that we really do choose to have in our life. So I put into the group a goal. Yes, but that wasn't what I was thinking of. I put into the group one of the affirmations that I use a lot. And I use it in all circumstances. I tend to have this point in my brain where it just goes, I'm positively expecting great results. No matter what I see in front of me, the universe is rearranging itself in my best interests right now. I find that incredibly comforting. I find the fact that it reminds me that I am in partnership with something bigger than me, higher than me. Call it source, call it energy, call it God, the universe, spirit, Gaia. The fact that I am not alone. The fact that also it means that I'm connected like those light bulbs on the stage, vibrationally with those of the similar vibration. That we're kind of creating a vortex of good stuff that's going to lift us all up together. That's what I get when I say that affirmation. That it allows me to remain in faith and hope, even when was the last time I used it? Oh my God, okay. So, a couple of months ago, my mum was, she was in a hospice in Aylesbury, and once again we've been told that we probably didn't have that much longer with her. I think that's like the third or the fourth time we've had that over the past 12 months. Anyway, and I was in the car, and driving from Aylesbury back to the M1 is quite a cross-country tricky route, and the speedo on my car went. I suddenly didn't have a clue how fast I was going, and Lil was kind of grouchy in the back, and we're driving down these country lanes, and there's quite a lot of speed cameras out that way, and I was like, there are not enough cars around here for me to be able to judge how fast I'm going, because I can't measure myself against them and can't keep like a similar distance. I was just like, crap. I didn't really know my way back to the M1, and my speedo has gone, and I have a grouchy child, and all I could do was just go to myself, I'm positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is rearranging itself in my best interest right now. And it went on for miles and miles and miles, and I'm looking at my speedo going, I haven't got a clue. And it kicked in on a mini roundabout, like miles and miles and miles down the road from where it stopped working. It just suddenly kicked back in. And I was like, yes! And as I looked up, there were two signs. One sign was to Milton Keynes, and the other side said Bedford M1. And I was like, I need to go to the M1, but shit. And it caught me so off guard. I don't know why, but I just went, Milton Keynes! I'm just going to go up to Milton Keynes. It's further north. So I went up to Milton Keynes, and I damned myself all the way through Milton Keynes because it was just roundabout after roundabout after roundabout, and there weren't enough road signs, and I was just like, oh my god, where am I going? I'm positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is rearranging itself in my best interest right now. Kept going. I was like, I can only remain in faith that everything is going to work out. Finally I get onto the M1, and as I pull onto the M1, it's empty. Nothing. Not a sausage. There is not a single car. And it turns out that if I'd gone down to the M1 at Bedford, I would have been stuck on a completely closed M1. Because between that junction, junction 30, junction 14, junction 13, and the junction I came on, junction 14, there had been a crash. And all of the M1 was shut. And I just glided onto the M1 and tootled on my merry way all the way home with my speedo still working. And I was like, what? Oh man! And I swear, there are so many occasions where staying in faith, using affirmation, saying it out loud, using that spoken word to create has just changed everything. I mean, there's just so many examples. Yeah. It's just amazing stuff. So I have put my favourite affirmation in there, and I also use goal cards. So we've talked in the week 1, week 2 about our ideals. Who are our ideal clients? What's our ideal situation? Where would we like to be 12 months from now? And you can write all that out on a little card, like a little index card. And when you've written it out on an index card, you then look at it every morning and every evening. You put it on your phone, you put it like as a little laminated thing, and you can put it on your keys. You keep looking at it because it's the neuroplasticity. It's the way of getting your brain to accept it as a reality. If the subconscious can't see the difference between reality and illusion, let's use illusion. But when you read a goal card, you have to go there with a full heart. You know, you want to go there with that sense of yes, and you write the goal card as though it's the thing that you have already achieved. So my goal cards tend to start, I am so happy and grateful now that I have, and it's ba 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 ba. So if I want to I did it a lot last year around Florida. I wanted to get to the meetings that we had in Florida, and I wanted to take Matt and Lil, and I wasn't quite sure how financially it was going to work. And so I wrote this goal card, and I was like, I'm so happy and grateful now that we've had this amazing trip to Florida, and I have seen da 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 da, and together we have put together a plan for the next 6 months. And you write it as though it's already happened, because you want to be able to feel all the good feeling in it. The universe, the subconscious, if it doesn't know what the past is or what the future is, it only experiences the now, it will bring it to you in the now. So if you want to manifest it, bring it to the now. And I just love it, and it's such a playful way to kind of like, you know, see how you feel about the things that you think that you want. See whether at the point at which your goal card doesn't resonate, change your goal card. The point at which your brain seems to have got bored with it, change your goal card. But you want to keep yourself in that place where you have enthusiasm and oh yeah. Always, always, always faith over fear. Always, always, always speak what you wish for. Always, always, always choose to bring it into your life. So I just think that abracadabra is such an amazing thing, that ta-da-ness of it all. And I really, really think that it's such a special little game to play with yourself, that we can bring all this magic into our lives in like an everyday way. So let's have a think. So I emailed out to you today a little sheet of fears that can stop you, and I'd like you to go and have a look at that list and have a think about those fears. It's a kind of a condensed version of the stand-up sit-down game we were doing before. Because the thing is that not only do fears stop you from taking opportunities, They stop you from seeing opportunities. And when you see opportunity, when you're open to opportunity, you'll be amazed at the things that come your way. One of the thoughts I wanted to leave with you, and we talked about it before, I think it's a common theme in my world, this manifestation mindset. It's how you feel about things. I gave you a shorter version the other week, which was Bob Proctor. The abundance meditation. I will drop that in because it is lovely. Bob Proctor, if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. One of the other ones I really like is from Wallace Wattles. It's quite a long one, so I've got a card. Ready? I can form things in my thoughts, and by impressing my thoughts upon formless substance can cause the thing I think about to be created. In order to do this, I must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. I must form a clear mental picture of the things I want, wish for, and I must hold this picture in my thoughts with the fixed purpose to get what I want, wish for, and the unwavering faith that I will get what I want. There's a lot of get what I want's in there. Closing my mind to all that might tend to shake my purpose, dim my vision, or quench my faith. I'm ready to receive what I want when it comes, and I am acting now upon the people and things in my present environment. So as we were talking last week, it's not about trying to change people. It's about allowing change within yourself, which has a ripple effect to change people. I think when you stand in your own power, it means that things like competition have less sway over you. So we no longer get worried about what other people are doing or what other people are charging, that we allow ourselves to stay very much in our own. And I really love that. And I really, really hope that over the past 4 weeks that you've kind of gathered some skills and learnt more about yourself. Because I love all of you guys. I mean, I know you all so well. And I love what you do. And I'm constantly fascinated by all three of you. And I'm constantly like, oh man, that's so cool what you do. So I really hope that you've got a bit from the 4 weeks. Hopefully you've got a lot from the 4 weeks. And I know as well that George and I are going to be continuing to work together. And very excited about that. George, your first treatment unicorn unit module will be winging its way to you. We're going to start that next week. But Helen, Anita, if you feel like you'd like to continue this kind of work, come and have a chat to me. You see, this is the thing where I'm not selling. I love you guys, but if you feel that there is more that you can more that you can learn from me, and that you would like to work with me, I'm doing a 6-month thing with George, and if you'd like to come and join us on that, it's 2 modules a month. There is a much more interactive kind of question and answer session. And there will be some time where we can all get together as well. So yeah, so shout me if you'd like to have a chat about that. We have plenty of journaling prompts, and actually there's some extra journaling prompts I'm going to be dropping into the group, because I was like, oh my god, so much good stuff. It's like been flowing in the past 24 hours. If you have questions, then please ask me this evening, 9 o'clock, and then we'll all be off to watch Death in Paradise. Oh, Anita as well. Tell us what film you watched and whether it was any good. Last week, George and I and Helen were talking about oracle cards in the Q&A core. These are the ones that I use. These are the Ascended Masters. They're lovelies. Here we go. Bunch of them. They've got pretty pictures. Pretty pictures. So let's just pull a card, because George was like, what? We've got me pack. We give them a shuffle. And let's just keep shuffling until one falls out. So we're just going to wrap up today's session. And this is what the universe thinks we need to know. Alrighty, the universe has pulled two cards for us. Interesting. The first one is fertility. The second card is twin flame. Fertility is always a good one. Fertility. See, a little book with them, George. This is how they do it. Okay, so fertility. This card signifies it is a very fertile time for you. This is an ideal time for the conception of a baby or new projects. Let's all just say new projects. All the doors are open for you right now. Your mind is fertile with many wonderful new ideas, and abundance flows easily to you. Since everything is in its infancy stage, have patience with the growth process. Just nurture yourself and your projects so you stay strong and fertile. Additional meanings. You have the Midas touch. Everything you touch is turning to gold. There is good news about pregnancy or adoption. Let go of worries or guilt and enjoy yourself. Now is a good time to start projects. All right, then number 2, twin flame. I was like, really? Twin flame? Hello. Okay, twin flame. Maybe this resonates for one of us. I'm not sure which one. This card indicates a twin flame relationship, which is the deepest form of romantic love. To form such a partnership, you must follow your inner guidance, learn personal growth lessons, and have patience with divine timing. Once twin flames find each other, everything in their life reaches new heights of love and light. Oh. Additional meanings. The person you're inquiring about is your soulmate or twin flame. Okay, which one of you is asking? Come on, which one of you's pulled this from the universe? You will soon be with your twin flame. Keep your heart open, stay positive, and follow your guidance to manifest your prayers about your love life. So there we go, ladies. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please join me for the 9 o'clock. That would be super. And yes, darlings, I will see you all soon. I love you all. It's been a blast. In the spirit of feedback, I will be sending out a questionnaire. just to like totally put a dampener on today. I will be sending out a questionnaire. Your feedback would be gratefully appreciated. Thank you so much. And one little dance from the lady just to finish off the day. All right, my loves. Take care, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.